The WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 100 times your entry with Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN for your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. We're also brought to you by the Mega Memorial Merch Sale. That is 15% off everything in the SGPN merch store. Promo code SGPN May. Act now because the sale ends on Friday. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really real, villain real, Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. Wait, that's not my drop. This is my drop. All right, you're going to hear a beeping sound. I think it's going to come up very, yeah, you hear it right now? You hear that ticking? Yeah, you're going to hear sounds like that for about the first half of this episode because I'm in the middle of an NFL Dynasty rookie draft right now. And honestly, if I don't have the sounds on, my ADHD is going to make me forget about the draft and I'm going to end up auto-picking everything. So I had to turn the sounds on. You're going to hear it. It's probably going to be annoying. Do I care? Kind of, sort of, not really. But I hope everybody understands the situation that I'm in because I had poor timing and I scheduled the show at the same time as a rookie draft. My bad. Other than that, Scott Studio Reichel. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beam me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, Storm 1.5? Really? 1.5? That's what we're putting the Fever at right now? Really? 1.5? All right, sure. What'd they lose by? 80? Yeah, Fever are a horrible basketball team. Not to mention that they had more injuries. They ended up losing by 15. They were down by about 30 in the fourth quarter. Yeah, the Fever kind of suck, and the Storm are good. So just keep that in mind. So there you
go. And I mean, we can just go ahead and get to it because I haven't updated the picks page with our we both had a bonus lock of the Storm -1.5 because that was actually comical. And then the closing line ended up being 5.5. So it ended up closing at Storm laying 5.5. And they covered that too because this Fever team isn't good. And unfortunately, the very bare, I wouldn't even WNBA fans, but just people that watch the W don't realize how bad the Fever actually are. So here we are, very, 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 very easy bonus lock cash of Storm laying 1.5. Other than that, it actually, well, I mean, I still have time. My lock of Sky -2.5 is going, and the Sky are currently up. It was double digits when I left to come over here. 66-52, 103 left in the third. So we'll see if the Sky can just close out and finish that. My dog picks have been horrible. And luckily they're dogs, so like it doesn't make that big of a difference. You shouldn't be putting that big of a unit size on it. But like, oh man, I missed another one. Mystics money line. It looked good until it didn't. Honestly, like it really did. It looked good until it didn't. And then the Dream just went on run after run, and we're able to go and not only get the win, but get the cover. So shout out to the Dream. Dogs are 30% on the year. Locks are 87.5% on the season. Crazy. Scott, unfortunately, I have to play the drop for you, Scott.
Well, I got the Storm. I got the Storm.
Oh, well, okay. You don't get the you got the Storm. You don't get the drop. You don't get the drop.
Unfortunately, though, Brianna screwed me. I think I needed one rebound in about the final 4 minutes of the game. 4 or 5 minutes.
That was brutal. That was brutal. I was waiting for that one.
Didn't get it, but I had Stewie 9+ rebounds with the Sky money line, and I think that was like +240 or something. And unfortunately, the Sky are up by a lot, but Stewie screwed me by half a rebound. So, yeah, didn't get those right, but at least the Storm came through. Once again, just a really bad line by the books. The Fever are really, really bad.
This is really
no other way around it. They're terrible.
It was really, really great. And the fact that I was like, I don't know, this should be like 6-7. I still undercut it by about what? X
They were
number,
down like
15
30.
points. Yeah,
Like,
they were
yeah.
down a lot. Like they came back and made it. It's not even respectable still. They scored you when you give up 103 points in the W. Like no matter what you ended with, you had a bad game. Like it was a pretty bad game. So hey man, I also dropped an underdog lineup because underdog gave us a Luca half a point
Yeah.
special. So I dropped a little 10-1, 10-1 underdog lineup. I had Skylar Diggins Smith higher than 20.5 points and assists. She finished with 18-9, Scott. She's back. I just want you to know she's back. She
Good to
got
see
her
her back.
legs under her, and she's gonna be now. This is the Storm team that we were forecasting. I think they're gonna be pretty good. But however, I also had Ezzy Magbagor. I also had her as well. Ezzy at 8.5, higher than 8.5 rebounds. She got hooked at 8, man.
Yeah.
So that lineup was 10-1, didn't cash. The last leg was De'Erica Hamby, uh, higher 29.5 points and rebounds. At the end of the third quarter, she has 21 and 11. Ah, the hook, man, the hook. It's killing me. But I played them all straight, so I'm still up on the day. Of course, you got to make sure you play your underdog lineups, your parlays, whatever you play them straight too, because you're either up really, really a lot, like Glow get him went and dropped a parlay on the Dream, laying 3.5. He said screw what y'all said about the Mystics. I'm taking the Dream. Shout out to him because he was right. Dream laying 3.5. He took the Aces laying 4.5, and he took the Storm laying 2.5, and he cashed big, like big. So shout out to him. Shout out to everybody else that enjoyed a nice day of bread. Before we talk about the games actually playing tomorrow, we got to talk to you about the college baseball tournament. And if you like cash in the W and you like cash in general, then you should go cash with Noah Beanick in the college baseball experience. Plus, hop in the college baseball bracket challenge for a chance to win $200 SGPN gift card. That is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bracket. And plus, don't forget the Mega Memorial Merch Day sale. Hey, if you love this show, you want to support this show, go buy some WNBA merch. Go buy some WNBA Gambling Podcast merch over at the merch store. Ooh, excuse me. Promo code SGPN May. Holy crap. Did I miss a pick? Oh, I missed a pick. God dang it. Oh, no, I didn't get. Who did I? Oh, it's Michael Penix. I don't need Michael Penix.
Well, Cousins gets
Lamar.
injured, then maybe you can use him for something.
I'm about to drop Daniel Jones. I got Lamar Jackson. I have Tua, and I have Daniel Jones as my quarterbacks. I really, really didn't need. It's this freaking podcast. I knew I was gonna miss a pick. I knew doing this show I was going to miss a fucking pick. Damn, I need a running back. Yeah, now it wants to beat. All right, whatever, man. Oh well, that's not part of the ad read. I already did the ad read. So, all right, Scott, let's go ahead and do this before I miss another pick. We have 4 games on a Friday in the W. This is going to be fun. First game up on the docket. 3 games at, first of all, scheduling. Now, granted, we're NFL aficionados. We can watch multiple games at one time and be fine. Everybody can't do that. So you shouldn't have 3 of your 4 games tipping off at the same time. Like that's just, I mean, come on. Like, come on. 8:30, something later. Stagger it. Give me something. However, first game up on the docket, we're going to talk about 7:30 on the East Coast. We have the Washington Mystics going on the road to play the New York Liberty. Liberty are laying 15.5 here. 162 is the total. Injury report here. Let me do this really quick because I'm about to go up on the clock. Injury report here. Oh, that's the wrong game. Oh, that's the wrong game too. This is the right game. Here we go. We have Shakira Austin's game time decision. Brittany Sykes, is still out with that ankle injury, and no new injured Liberty players. Scott, I mean, we're not laying 15.5 without Liberty. There's no way we can do that, right?
No, not even close. I feel like this Liberty team is not very good. On talent-wise, of course, they have a lot on the roster, but I have not been a fan of this coaching staff for a couple of years at this point, and you're paying attention to how they played recently. They got run out of the building in the game against Minnesota twice. They ended up losing to Chicago. I forgot to mention that before. They were massive favorites at home, basically trailed wire to wire in that game. And then you're looking at how they played the last game, and they played a Mercury team on the second night of a back-to-back that scored 47 points the game prior, and you almost blew like a 20-point lead in that game. So no, I don't like how the Liberty have played. I don't think this team is gelling properly, and it seems like something, whether it involves chemistry or whether it involves coaching or all the above, something is just off with this team. Now, a win's a win, and the Mercury are still a good team. But in that scheduling spot, when you're up 13 after a quarter, you kind of have to run them out of the building, and they just didn't do it. They almost blew a 15-point lead. Yeah, I'm going to pass on the Liberty. I think the Mystics are not a good team, but they can hang in there. We saw them hang in there in the first game of the season against the Liberty. So I'll take the points. Until the Liberty prove to me they can actually win in this big of a favorite role, they've been failing dramatically when laying double digits. Give me the Mystics plus 15.5.
Yeah, I can't back this Liberty team. Like, there's actually no handicap that I have for this. And is this a system play? Is this a system play? Do we just fade the Liberty when they're laying double digits? They're not taking these games seriously. I think it's a blind system play. They're not taking these games serious at all. So
what are they this year though when laying double digits? They're
they
definitely
did
not
cover.
covered. Well, they covered against the Fever once.
So they didn't. Yeah, they did cover the first game against the Fever. They did not cover the second. So that's 1-1. They didn't cover against the Mystics the first game. That was a double-digit spread. That's 1-2. Seattle was in double digits. They didn't cover against Chicago. That was double digits. So that's 1-3.
And they didn't cover against the Mercury. So they're 1-4.
1-4. Yeah. Let's just blindly fade them when they get double digits.
They don't play good enough defense to be laying 15.5 points. They don't guard anybody.
Scott, was last year our only chance?
I'm not going to say only chance because they made it to the finals. They did squander a big chance when half of the Aces team got injured, and they blew a home game in Game 4.
Like
That's
what?
A pretty rough loss.
Like what?
That's
like
a pretty rough loss. In that spot, they were winning that game too. They just couldn't score down the stretch. So that was a golden chance, but I'm not going to say that they blew their only chance. But I do think they need to tweak some things with the roster. Maybe it's John Quell, maybe it's not, but something feels off with this team, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So we'll see.
I think it does. I don't think it's anything. No, I lied. I think Courtney Vandersloot has to go. I think we got to get a better. I think we need.
I kind of was just passing over her, but yes, I think she has to.
I think we need a point guard that can defend, that can truly defend. And granted, if you can run the offense, we got Sabrina to run the offense, so I really don't care about that. I feel like we need another guard that can really defend alongside Belijah Lady. If we get that, then we're good. And I think that's where some people were like, who's the person that they cut earlier in the offseason? Can't remember her name right now. I don't know why it's escaping me. She just came out rookie. I can't remember. Her name's escaping me. But she played really good defense, and they thought she was going to make the same because of it. But we just need another, and they probably need to find that in the offseason, like another high-powered defender. And because Courtney Vandersloot is just really, what she's given us, Sabrina could give us. And I think they should just give Sabrina the keys to the team, and maybe either she sinks or she swims. But sorry for that rant. That's just us as Liberty fans. It's Washington Mystics plus 15.5 pretty easily here. 162 is the total here, Scott. I'm on the under because I'm on the under. I like the Mystics defensively. I think they step up defensively if they keep this close.
I think I'll lean under. Couple ways to get there. Either the Liberty blow them out or the Mystics hang in there. I'm still not sold on this Mystics offense, and they were able to slow down Atlanta defensively in the last game. So I don't mind.
Just can't score. They just couldn't score.
Yeah, they can't score with Sykes being out.
They need Sykes back. Yeah, they need Sykes.
By the way, you mentioned potentially moving on for Vandersloot. I'm not saying that she's on the table, but imagine this Liberty team with like a Courtney Williams type. Just somebody who can kind of do everything on this team.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's like a piece you kind of need. Vandersloot's kind of a one-trick pony. She can't really shoot that well from the outside, or she doesn't attempt many shots. She's undersized. She can't really guard anybody. She doesn't really do much off-ball either.
Old. Like, at this point, she's old.
Yeah. Once again, Courtney Williams was just the first name on my mind because she kind of does everything with rebounds and assists, but I feel like you need a more well-rounded guard to pair with Ionescu.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I feel.
But that's how I feel too. I feel like Sabrina could be doing so much better if they just gave her the keys. It just feels like there's a reluctance, and maybe it's on her part because she just might not cut it. Like, she just might be a good player, not a great player, but whatever.
Can we call up Lambier to coach the team again?
No.
See what he's up to?
No, I mean they definitely need a new coach, but I don't want to go back down that route.
Oh, so you are on the train of them needing a new coach, because I know initially you kind of fought against it with that last year.
Yeah. I thought that because I don't ever
They made the
say
finals
anybody.
last year.
It's
I
1
just don't.
year. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
1 year they made the finals. Like,
they made the
but
finals. I just don't think she has a good pulse on the roster. That's kind of my main takeaway from this season.
yeah, I definitely would like somebody else to come in. I feel like if somebody else really, really good comes in, this team, we're not talking about if this team is the second best team. We're talking about if this team is the best team in the league. So,
Derek Fisher, come on down. No, I'm joking. But
oh my god, that would be horrible. That would
that'd be
be.
horrible.
Hey, by the
It'd be
way,
so
stop
bad.
pulling NBA guys to come coach the W. I'm really good on that. We'll see what what's his name is doing down there in the Mercury, because they are actually playing pretty well. But I'm tired of NBA guys coming over thinking that they can coach in the W and then flopping. Like, I'm really, really tired of that. All right, where are we at? I don't have player props. You have player props?
No, I don't have anything for this game.
Yeah, I didn't have anything else either.
You know, Stewie's going to go for 10 rebounds because she screwed me last time. So
Oh
just
no,
something to
oh
consider.
no. Did you see what Asia did last episode?
Asia's going crazy.
29 to 15.
I
I'm
got her to
telling
an
you right now,
MVP. So
Stewie is responding. You have to look. I'm telling you guys, whenever one or the other pops out with a good game, just blindly take the other to have a good game after. Like, just blindly ladder them. They respond to each other's good games because they are petty. They're petty. They are petty. Both
and
of
they're
them.
probably the two best players in the league. So, or two
Bird
of the
and Magic.
three, if you want to make the
Bird and
argument.
Magic.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, that's it for that one. Before we get to the next game on the slate, though, gotta talk to you about Underdog Fantasy. If you've seen on Twitter, I dropped my Underdog lineup that didn't win, but it was close, but it didn't win at the end of the day. It didn't.
I did for the NBA game on YouTube, so that still is
Oh, you
life.
did?
Knock on wood.
Oh, okay. All right. So make sure check out the plays on YouTube here, NBA Gambling Podcast, and well, I mean, this is the WNBA Gambling Podcast, but go to NBA Gambling Podcast YouTube. That's where all of our stuff is housed. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. You can play their fantasy pick'em. Is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats such as points, rebounds, and assists. Entries of basketball. You could do WNBA, you could do NBA, you could add MLB in there, you could add golf in there, MMA. All of that is on Underdog. You can win up to 100 times your money. Underdog is available in 30 plus states, including California, Texas, and Canada. Plus, Underdog is running in Florida. They just launched their Champions Player versus Player format in Florida. So make sure that you sign up with promo code NBASGPN as NBASGPN. Claim your special pick. First time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBASGPN. And we're going to drop an Underdog lineup at the end of the show. Well, we're going to try. Probably. We might not. It's kind of early.
We might be limited. We want to. We'll see if we can.
And we might piece something together that might not be out yet, but Stewie's going to be in there. Stewie's points over is going to be in there. I'm just going to let you know now. Like, we're
I think you
taking
mean higher.
Stewie's
They
higher.
might sue you.
You're right. Oh,
yeah, okay.
My fault. I'm so sorry, Underdog.
Fine.
I'm so sorry. I meant higher. We're taking Stewie higher. Well, maybe they could say that the read is over. They honestly could say we could say that the read is over. Yeah, the read was over because I gave. Let's just do one more.
Nothing's gonna happen to you
NBA
anyway.
SGPN.
I was joking. Yeah, you're
Nah, bro. I don't know. I think somebody might be looking for me. All right.
By the way, if you're trying to
Underdog.
follow NBA, the Mavericks are up 29 at the half, so you might want to just check into WNBA.
I mean,
we're about to be off for about 6-7 days, so you might want to check in with the WNBA.
Let's lock back in and see what's going on in the W. The Chicago Sky 69-60. Yeah, definitely tap back in with the WNBA. They're somehow, you know what? I'm really tired. And that's why this Chicago team is a good team, not a great team, because they play really well, but they could not close in the second half. Like, there's no reason this should have ever got into inside single digits at all. Yep. No reason. So, come on, Chicago, figure it out. All right, here we are. Next game we're talking about, the Las Vegas Aces are on the road in Atlanta, going to play the Atlanta Dream. Aces are laying 8, 170.5 is the total. Injury report for these two teams, and I have for that is the wrong site. All right, there we go. So for the Las Vegas Aces, Chelsea Gray is still out. She's not playing right now. Kristen Bell is going to be out for a while with that foot injury. Alicia Gray is on the injury report. She is questionable with a thumb injury. Jordan Canada is still out with that hand injury. They really need Jordan Canada back for her defense too. They really, really do. But here we are. Aces Dream. Aces laying 8. The Dream have actually had some good games against the Aces in the past, though. Scott, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I was very impressed by the Aces last time out as they were able to beat a pretty solid Minnesota team, and they did so comfortably. They won by 14. Asia had an MVP game. She looks poised to get the trophy back after not winning it last year. I'm going to go with the Aces in this one. You mentioned how there are some front court issues for Atlanta right now. Last game they were able to win against Washington, even though Ryan Howard was horrible. Was 2 of 11 from the floor, 0 of 6 from 3. Had 11 points, but they still won without her anyway, or without her doing much because Tina Charles had 17 and 15. Yeah, good luck trying to guard Asia Wilson, Tina Charles. I'm rooting for you. It's probably not going to go well. So give me Asia. Had to have a monster game. But the Aces finally, after waiting about a week and a half, 2 weeks, looked like the defending champions 2 times over. And they looked really good. I think we both know Minnesota has been one of the most impressive teams so far this season. And they just went into Minnesota and smacked them. So I think the Aces finally are sensing a bit more urgency needed after kind of playing with their food for the first couple weeks. So I kind of like the Aces here. I get it. Atlanta is at home. They play better at home. But with the injuries that you mentioned before, and with the Aces looking that sharp last game defensively, they put the clamps down against Minnesota, who I think was leading the league in points per game. And they only gave up 66. So I'm going to go with the Aces here. I think the Aces are just the better team. And I think that they look like they might be starting to dig in a little bit. So give me the Aces minus 7.5.
This is
Atlanta
the hard
at
thing
home
for
is
me.
always scary, but
yes, Atlanta at home and as a home dog, honestly, crap.
Is it an overreaction in one game, or the Aces flip a switch? Because it really looked like they flipped a switch.
That's what I'm saying. Look at the defense, but it's also that was the question for the Minnesota Lynx for me was offensively. Yes, Nafisa Collier, but Kayla McBride has had struggles before. They struggle offensively, and I just didn't know if that was going to be completely on. So now I'm trying to figure out, was that a bad offensive showing by the Aces, or was that good defense bad offense by the Lynx, or good defense by the Aces, and how they were able to dominate that game like that and really hold them to 66 points. Last 2 times the Aces came to Atlanta, although they were laying a lot more than 11, they were laying 11.5, and they did not cover that. And they were also laying 16.5. They did not cover that. They won by 12 in that game, but it was 112 to 100 and 92 to 87. I don't know, Scott. I think I'm actually going to take Atlanta.
Just to be clear,
and say that this is a high scoring game.
The Aces won by double digits, correct?
No, they won they won 112 to 100, and then they won 92 to 87.
Oh, 92 87. Okay, sorry. I flipped the numbers around. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, so
you like the over in the game?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
100%. I'm gonna fade the Aces defense again. And if this is them proving me wrong, proving that it was good defense, that it wasn't bad offense by the Lynx, then you know what? I'm gonna tip my hat to them. But I think it was still bad defense on the Aces. I just think they're not locked in yet. And it gets in with time. They're not losing games, so it's not like it's really they lost one game. It's not like it's really, really going against them. But this Atlanta team plays them tough. Atlanta's hard to play at home, and I still think that they're a solid basketball team. They just don't play defense. I mean, if you're not playing defense on the Aces and the Aces aren't playing defense on you, maybe you do keep this close. I'm gonna just take the Atlanta as a home dog, +8, and I hope they cover. I guess I'll sprinkle on the money line too, but I actually don't think that they're going to go out here and get a money line win. But just in case. What are you doing with the total? We might
disagree on this game, though. I'm going to lean under for the total.
Okay.
I tried to go over with the Minnesota game, and then the Aces just put together a defensive masterclass. Maybe they won't be able to repeat it, but I already got burned by trying to go with an over on a high total between the Aces and another high-scoring team. I think I'm just going to lean under. Atlanta, we know, is not as good on the road. Washington, I don't want to say had them, in jail, but they had a hard time scoring against that team. Like they really had a hard time of generating consistently solid looks. And if the Aces look as engaged defensively in this game as they did against the Lynx, the Dream might only reach like 70 and change. Like I think that's actually a possibility here. I'm going to go with the under. I just think this number's too high. I think it's going to be high scoring, but like 160s, 170 and a half is massive. You can't even have like one bad quarter. You need every quarter to have 40 plus points. I just don't see there being enough, I'd say, room for error for me to like the over. I'll go with the under in this game.
If you're on the side of me and you're taking the Dream, I think that you should wait as long as you can. I don't think that this gets smaller. Yeah, I think it's going up. I really do. I think it might get to 10. It might, because people really I really do think it might get to 10. And if it gets double digits, then I love the Dream. But yeah, if you like the Aces, get on this line now. I think this line's going up. I do. I'm just gonna fade it. All right. Before we get to the next game on the slate, gotta talk to you about Rhythm. Make sure that you are tapping into Rhythm for all their WNBA features to make it easier than ever to use the data to bet all of the action this season, custom betting models in seconds. You have AI bet recommendations for every game, and you can become a better with the power of Rhythm. So make sure you tap in and get you some Rhythm wherever you get your apps on the App Store. Rhythm has a play of the day for tomorrow. Let's pull it up. Rhythm is, let's see how Rhythm feels. Scott, Rhythm is on your side.
Okay.
All right. Praises to you. Rhythm has the under 70.5 for this game, 65.5% win probability. It's crazy.
There's no room for error. I mean,
yeah, they predict 167.5. That's where they say this line should be at, 167.5. So, all right, Scott, Rhythm's on your side for sure. And Scott's got Rhythm. Do you got Rhythm? Make sure you download Rhythm wherever you get your apps. All right, next game on the slate. Dallas Wings on the road, going to play the Connecticut Sun. Sun are laying 7.5 here. This opened up at 6.5. It's up to 7.5 already. 165 is the total. That's dropped a 1.5. Injury report for these two teams, and I have for the Dallas Wings. Satu Sabali still not playing. Natasha Howard is still out. Jaylen Brown is still out.
Can I just get the over on Enrique shot attempts so we can just call it a day? Does that line exist?
Actually, hold that pause on Jaylen Brown. She might play. I know it says out right now, but I feel like this is the extent of where I feel like this is something that they just didn't update. I feel like she might play. So pause on Jaylen Brown, but I know for a fact Natasha Howard and Satu Sabali aren't playing. No injured players for the Connecticut Sun here. All right.
Where do you want to go with this one?
So Connecticut is 6-0. So we know we're hunting that first loss. We are.
Yeah.
And we're trying to cash it as a dog. Dallas has been competitive with Connecticut before. They played against each other in playoff series recently. And they've actually won the last two. They beat Dallas. Yeah, they beat them August 12th and August 18th. And they were a 4-point dog in that second one.
They had the competitive playoff series a couple years ago.
Yeah. So here's the issue that I have with Connecticut is that the offense can get stagnant at times. While it is all defense, all world, all defense, at some point the offense for the other team is going to seep through and score some points. It may not be consistently, but it's going to happen. And if Connecticut doesn't continue to go on the runs, continue to manufacture offense, then it's like I don't know. 7.5 just feels a lot of points. But I'm terribly afraid because I don't think Dallas is any good defensively.
They are not. They were able to win the last two games, beat Phoenix by 15, beat the Sparks by 1. That game got really dicey at the end. Long road trip, though. They have this road game, then a road game against Minnesota. So it's actually in the middle of a long road trip. The Sun did return home after beating Chicago on the road and give up 47 points to a Mercury team that's really good offensively. which is just nuts. That's just such an insane performance.
Yeah, they
I
were
am
1 for
wondering
27 from 3.
I am wondering though. Yeah, 1 for 27 is Houston Rockets game 7 bad. But still, point is, I do want to at least talk about whether or not they should be laying 7.5, or if this line's a massive overreaction to one game. Because even though the Suns are undefeated, you are right. The offense does get stagnant. We know Alyssa Thomas is a great overall facilitator. Scoring wise, she can kind of defer a bit. They got Bonner, they have some options, but the offense can get stagnant. And if defensively they are not able to put together, honestly, the Mercury game was so good defensively. Do I kind of have to toss it out?
Thank you.
Like, that's wild.
That's too good.
That's
I don't
wild.
know, man. I really kind of want to. Dallas just makes it so hard, but I just really don't think
47
Dallas
points in a game, though. I got to toss that out. That's just insane. Because they
Dallas
gave up 80
isn't-
plus in all the other games. They gave up 80 plus to Chicago, 82 to Minnesota, went to overtime. It's still 88 to the Fever, 77 to Washington. So defensively, they were giving up points. Then they just had one monster game, and I feel like the line's now a bit inflated. I'm going to lean to Dallas. I think Connecticut's built to win games, not to win games by a bunch of margin. And besides the Mercury game, which they won by 23 points, I believe every other game they won was by less than this number, besides the first game against the Fever. So they had 4 straight games of winning by about 7 points or less.
Oh, crap.
So they don't really win
good
by
call,
margin.
Scott. Good call.
So,
beat the Mystics by 7, beat the Fever by 4, beat the Lynx by 1, beat the Sky by 4, and then that random monster. And then they still only scored 70. They still only scored 70 against the Mercury, who sucked. Yeah, it's Wings plus 7.5. Sprinkle on the money line. We figured. Thank you for talking me through that, Scott.
Yeah, I think it's a good.
Right.
I think it's a good sell high spot. People are going to look at the defense and go, "Well, this is incredible." I think it was more of a one-off. They are, in my opinion, the best defense in the league. I will not dispute that, but I do think they played so well that some regression is due.
Yeah, I'm 100. Now I'm
is still insane.
I'm locked in. That was a great read right there. 100%. Dallas plus 7.5. Dallas on the money line. Total's at 165 and 165.
I'm still leaning under because I'm not sure Connecticut can actually score. Connecticut might just be a dead under team. Maybe.
I almost let Connecticut team total under come out my mouth, but then I remembered it was Dallas. Yeah, I'll close my eyes and take the under, but I don't like that play. I really don't. It could go either way.
Yeah.
All right. And I think actually Rhythm likes that under as well. It does. Rhythm has it was at 166.5 when they picked it. 67.8% win probability. They have the game finishing at 164.3.
The one thing I have noticed about models over the years and these type of predictive sites and platforms, they tend to really like unders when they do the math. Just something I've noticed. It seems like most of these models will lean under, so don't just blindly back it. Just something to keep in mind.
All right.
We got one
I'm still going to take all the AT props I can.
Okay.
Oh wait, there's a lot more. Wait, we could actually they had Ty Harris props. Oh, somebody's listening. Oh, they listen to this pod. Somebody's listening. Is there 3? Yes, it's plus money. 1.5. All right, now I have to go on a deep dive of Ty Harris and figure out if this is a good prop or not.
I also realized we actually made a mistake. We forgot to mention props for the Aces game. I actually do have props on that.
Oh, you do? All right, we can go back to it after this. We can go back to it after this. Sure. All right, let me see. Let me get on Outlier and try to pull up some intel on Ty Harris. Let's see here. Well, why I do that? Anything here in this game that tickles your fancy?
Well, I was assuming for Harris you'd want her 3s, just based on.
Oh, it's at 1 plus 125. I see. So I'm definitely going to take that if I can, but I will let you know as soon as I pull that up. I'm definitely backing AT again, though, for sure.
I can get behind that. I think I might be tempted by under on Arike assists, but unfortunately it's 5.5 and it's heavily juiced towards the under. I just don't see her doing much passing in this game, or I just see Connecticut doing a good job of actually containing the others in this matchup. I think McBride might have some problems because we know that she operates the best in space and an overall transition. She likes to spot up from 3. The issue is Connecticut plays slow and they're great defensively. So it might just be a bad overall matchup. Well, sorry, my bad. I'm mixing up teams right now. But that was McBride, who is a player that we're going to get to in a little while. But I think for the sake of this matchup, AT, am I tempted by her points under? I feel like she's just not scoring enough, which is fine because they're undefeated. Who cares? But her points are at 14.5. She really just has not done much scoring recently. She's had less than 11 points in back-to-back games, less than 14 points in 4 of the last 6 games. Do I kind of just want to go with her under in points? It's at minus 104. Isn't that like a decent number?
I can't support an AT under in any form or fashion. I feel like I've tried to play her
Points are
under
the only
on
way I
before.
would do it because the rebounds and assists we know are going to be there, but the points, she doesn't prioritize scoring, so that's kind of why I'm asking.
Okay, let me see. Is this sharing?
Yeah,
you can see the screen. Cool.
I can see that.
Great.
It's Harris points.
All right, yeah, great. All right, let's look here on Outlier and see how Ty Harris is doing. So 1.5 3-pointers, head to head, and I'll have to go back and look for because they haven't played this year, so I'm guessing that's last year. Yeah, these are last year numbers. Head to head, 25%. Okay, all right. Well, I guess that's not that good. The 50%. Hey, she's cashing this at 50% of her games this year. Look at that. In 2024, 50% of the games. Oh, all right. Let's see. 40% last 5, last 10, 60%. That actually makes me feel pretty good. Ty Harris 9.5 is about the same. She's never scored that 9.5 against Connecticut. I guess that's last year. Let me go check in the all-time numbers for her. Let's click on, and then I really like Outlier. Outlier is like very, 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 very convenient. So this year she's starting. So that's also the thing. Oh, and that's why you kind of got to throw out the previous history with Ty Harris is because she was a bench player. For those who are new to the W or haven't been following the same, she was a bench player with the Connecticut Sun, and now she's starting with the new team and she's getting more usage. And so she didn't get there against Phoenix or Minnesota, but she got 2 against Chicago, got 3 against Indiana, none against Washington. Then she got 4 against Indiana. Well, so against Chicago's a good defense, so that's the only outlier there. But Phoenix is a bad defense. She should have had it, but they were killing them, so she didn't need to play as long. Minnesota's a good defense, so I'm not mad. Washington is a good defense. I'm not mad. I think I'm taking the plus money. I think this is an overreaction. She had two of the 3 games that she didn't hit this. She was playing against really good defense, and then they blew out the Mercury, and she didn't even get what was her final minutes count for that Mercury game? Let me see.
I think it says on Outlier if you go to the bottom. I think there's a minute.
Wait. Oh yeah, here we go. Yep, there we go. She played 23 minutes. Look at this. It's 31 against Chicago, 37 against Minnesota, 30 here against Indiana, like 26 against Washington. So she didn't even play that many minutes against Washington either. And then 28 against Indiana. I think she's going to be in 30 against this game in Dallas because I think Dallas is going to be in the game. We just talked about we like Dallas plus 7.5. Yeah, that's going to be a prop for me. Shout out to Outlier for the help. We're going to take Ty Harris. It's a little questionable, but the plus money makes it worth the value for me. I'm taking Ty Harris over 1.5 3-pointers at plus 120.
Yeah, there is one other prop I want to add, by the way. I want to take McCowan under 9.5 rebounds at minus 120.
Really?
She's been horrible lately. To go through the last couple games, she had 5 against Chicago, 14 against Atlanta. Good game there. She's owned Atlanta for a long time. Had 7 rebounds against Phoenix and 5 rebounds against the Aces. She just has gotten her minutes down. She's played less than 27 minutes in 3 of the last 4 games, less than 22 minutes in 2 of the last 4 games. So the minutes have been really inconsistent, and we're looking at the rebounds allowed. Connecticut is allowing the fewest rebounds per game. So I think McCowan actually has an inflated number for a player who's playing in the mid-20s or low 20s in minutes. 9.5 rebounds is kind of massive. I'll go with the under. She might be in foul trouble as well. I like McCowan under rebounds in this game.
All right. Shout out to Scott for there's some props that I'm just afraid, but Scott will handicap anything and just says that I don't care. My handicap is good, like because I am terrified of taking any type of
Well, because
rebound
I know
under a
that
10
McCown
without.
earlier in the year, we backed a couple of times for double-double and rebounds, and it worked. But watching the Wings play, they have kind of transitioned her not really to a bench role, but to kind of like an inconsistent starter minutes role. I don't want to compare it to like a Daniel Gafford on the Mavericks, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like, it just seems like her minutes are constantly in flux, and the odds makers have priced her like she's guaranteed to play 30 minutes. It just hasn't happened. Her minutes have dipped, so I just see value on her unders. That's how
All
I'm
right,
looking at it.
let's go ahead and run back to the Aces game. I didn't. I don't think. Where do you see props at? I don't have it. It must
I
have.
have them on outlier listed. FanDuel has props.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see here. Let's go.
I
Well,
saw Jackie at 10 assists last game.
hey man, just keep playing them. Just keep playing them. I don't think that they're gonna. I don't think that they're going to actually like change the line for her. We'll
No,
see if
it's
they
a
adjust
6.5.
enough. Take it. Take it.
It is juice though. It's minus 140, but it is 6.5.
But now they've gotten to the point where they're like, Jackie, just go ahead and be the point guard.
Yep.
I'm with you. I'm backing it.
Okay.
Let's see here. What else do we like?
I feel like Tina Charles is about to get her ass kicked in this game. And I like Tina Charles, but guarding Asia, how is she not in foul trouble in like the first 5 minutes of this game?
I mean, she a vet, so she might be able to stay firm for a couple of them joints, but Asia definitely
Yeah, the Ace is
still
also on
gonna
a
kill
run. That's not going to do her any favors.
her.
Asia's going to start like cherry picking at half court for free layups. Like I just don't think Tina's going to be able to run up and down the court.
All right. Yeah. I don't think I'm willing to get down on the under though.
Just throwing it out there.
Jackie's assist so far is like is like, and I mean Asia. I don't think there's ever a point where you should not play Asia Wilson. Like,
No.
so if you're asking me, hey, should I play Asia Wilson today? I'm gonna always say yes. Now,
talked
whether
before.
you actually do it is up to you,
Yeah.
but I'm always gonna say yes. Like, there's never, I just can't see a matchup where I say, oh yeah, I don't think I want to play her today.
She's
like,
the best player
if
in
I
the league.
ever, yeah, I just
Yeah.
have to force myself not to bet her every night. Like,
Yeah, we talked about it preseason when we did the MVP race, and we basically just said Asia's probably going to win the award. She's like plus 110. At some point this year, it's going to be like minus 180, maybe minus $2 or whatever. Might be sooner rather than later, because you look up the numbers she's had for the last week or so. Damn, nobody can guard her in the entire league.
I'm taking Ryan Howard over 20.5 points.
I hope she bounces back. She was horrible.
I think she's gonna get 25.
Okay.
Because I don't think Clark is guarding her. And even if she is, I don't think she's guarding her enough. I think eventually the volume is going to win out. She's going to take as many shots as she can versus this Aces team. And I think this is a volume cash here. Now, if she's efficient, she's going to cash the ladder. So if you play the ladder, 25 is plus 275. If you do that, she's going to cash that if she's efficient. But I just think off of pure volume, like volume scoring, especially if Alicia Gray is out. Like, if Alicia Gray doesn't play, it's going to be the Ryan Howard show. So I'm just going to get down on Ryan Howard now. If Gray does play, I still like the play. But if Gray doesn't play, then I just beat a line move.
Yeah, there is a prop I am tempted by with Asia. I think her points props now at like 27.5, 28.5.
I see
Just give me
25.5.
Just give me a leading score at even money. I think she might walk into 30 in this game. I think even money's a good deal for a player who we know is pretty much unguardable. Trivia question. Do you know how many points Asia scored in the last meeting she had against the Dream?
30.
53.
Shit.
Just 53 last time, faced off against this team. Just give me the over on Asia.
Oh, shit.
Just 53. I mean, they brought
forgot
in
about the 53-point game. Oh, I forgot
So,
about the 53-point game. Holy shit. She is so
Yeah.
good. Wow. What the fuck? 53 in the W is insane.
She had 53 points on 16 of 23 shooting.
All right.
And she went to the line 21 times. She made 20 of 21 free throws. So
Jesus fucking Christ. All right. Who pissed her off that day? All right. Phoenix Mercury on the road, going to play the Minnesota Lynx. Lynx are laying 7 at home. 164.5 is the total there. For the Mercury, this game, injury report, it looks like, Brittany Griner's out. Becca Allen is out. I think she has a concussion. She's out. And then Diamond Miller is still out for the foreseeable future for the Minnesota Lynx. So it's funny because this is actually like one of the more healthier Minnesota Lynx team that I've seen in a while. Like they've really, really been bit by the injury bug. So
yeah,
7, man. What
it feels like a lot.
do we lay? Do we lay 7 with the Lynx?
I feel like we have to talk about bounce back spots because the Mercury lost to back. They kind of had their get up spot against the Liberty after being that bad the game prior against Connecticut. They gave it a run. They lost by 3. Good effort. Minnesota got buried on their home floor against the Aces, which kind of maybe put them back in their place. But I think Minnesota's the better team. The question is, with the Mercury, they've been slumping a little bit over the last week. Do you think that the early season success was more fluky, or do you think this recent dip in overall performance is the actual fluke and they're going to bounce back? Because it kind of comes down to how you view the Mercury.
I think the dip in offensive production is the fluke.
Okay.
But they suck defensively. They've shown us this over the beginning part of the season. They're giving up 85.7 points per game. That's second to last in the WNBA. And if the Indiana Fever were a real basketball team, then they would actually be last. But because the Fever are giving up 90.3 after tonight, it doesn't really,
I'm just saying that Page and Clark backcourt next year is going to be crazy. That's all I'm saying. But
I think I just gotta just say Minnesota's back and just give Minnesota benefit of the doubt and later points. I mean, they're still scoring. I watched the game and I see points in the game where I'm like, wow, that's definitely room for a run to happen if the other team could score the basketball, but they can't score the basketball because the Lynx are so good defensively. Like they're a top 3 defense in the league right now. So, well, top 4. Sorry.
We also know that Phoenix tends to be a lot better at home than on the road, which is also a factor. But I know you were higher on this Mercury team than I was, and they've kind of fallen back down to earth a little bit. Just asking.
Yeah.
It sounds like you like the under in this game, though, because you just think the Lynx defensively are going to show up.
Yeah, I do. I do like the under. I think the Lynx can show up defensively. I would take a Mercury team total under.
Okay.
It's just I'm gonna take the Lynx. I'm just not gonna. I'm gonna let. If they burn me, that may be my learning lesson that I don't need to be laying a large number with the Lynx, and we really like them as dogs more than favorites. But I'm gonna take the Lynx because I think that they're a good.
I think I flipped it, by the way. I think the Lynx are actually the home team in this game.
They are.
I flipped that. Okay.
They are.
I bet.
So, and they have a good home atmosphere. They be, dancing after the game. Like it's all. I'm taking the Lynx, man. I like this Lynx. I'm taking the Lynx. Lynx laying 7. Probably not gonna bet that though. I got to see what they look like laying 7, but I'll take them.
I thought about taking the points, and then I realized I mixed up the home teams. So I guess I'm playing that with Minnesota because the Mercury are on the road and they've not been good. You're looking at the last couple games; they were on the back-to-back, and they came back against the Liberty. Still lost the game, and they got buried by Connecticut. Game before that, they lost by 15 to Dallas at home. You mentioned the defense has been an issue. Offensively, they've been a bit up and down recently. I still think Minnesota's a really good team. The Aces are just the Aces. And it seemed like the Aces chose that game to make a statement to the rest of the league. We're still here. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I do think that the Lynx will be motivated to get back on track against a much weaker team than the Aces. So I do think after losing by double digits on your home floor, you're going to get up for this game. I'll lean to Minnesota.
Yep. All right. I like it. Love it. I don't see anything listed for this game. I see Lane Elliott in the chat talking about Collier rebounds. I like that play, especially with the fact that there's a lack of size for the Mercury. But I actually kind of like Natasha Mack. And let me just go make sure I'm not tripping. But I feel like she's been holding it down and in rebounding for this team. Let's see. Where's Natasha Mack? She's averaging 7 per game. Last game against Liberty, she had 6. 7 against Connecticut, 3 in, what was that, 18 minutes. She only had 18 minutes in that Wings game, 3 rebounds, but 9 rebounds in that Washington missed this game, 7 in that Aces game, 11-6. I'm pretty sure her line is gonna be at 6.5. I feel like, yeah. Depending on what that juice is, I might take that. I'd be interested. I'd be interested in talking about it.
I mentioned it before accidentally in the wrong game, but I like McBride threes in this game. I don't know what the number is going to be, but she has made at least 3 3-pointers in, I believe, 4 of her last 5.
I think it's 2.5.
Give me the over. She's made at least 3 in 4 of her last 5. And we know the Mercury are not a great defensive team. So give me the McBride threes.
I'm pretty sure hers are at 2.5 with some plus money attached for the most part. All right. Let's see. I think Collier's going to score 2, by the way. I would take Collier points. Collier's another one where I don't think that I could sit there and watch a game and be like, oh, I'm not going to bet her points. Like,
I'll go with the rebounds in this one.
But I do like the rebounds too. Points and rebounds too. I think both of those, all 3 of those plays are really, really good.
Lock and dog time.
Yep. Let's see here. We've got for my lock.
You got some interesting options.
Yeah, we do. What did I like the most though? I mean, wings. We gotta talk myself into really, really, really liking the wings here. But
if you want to sell high spot, it's a good sell high spot.
Yeah, defensively, it just kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies. Should I just make a point with the? And you know what? The Washington Mystics' worst start to the season was 8-0. 8-0. I actually don't think they should have started 0-7 this season, and I think they've been competitive in a lot of games.
I think you mean their worst start was 0. I think you mean their worst start was 0-8, but I get what you're trying to say.
Oh yeah, 0-8. The worst start was 0-8. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I was because I'm actually still kind of flabbergasted, and so I'm just not going to think about it. And I'm going to take the Washington Mystics plus 15.5 here because their worst start was 0-8. They're 0-7 right now. I think they're going to try to do everything they can not to go 0-8. The Celebrity team has not been good covering this number, and the Mystics are actually pretty solid defensively. And like, this is a random Friday. Are the Liberty really going to get up for this game? Like for the entire, and when they just kept showing us only the Indiana Fever was the team that was going to let them cover this line. And Washington did it before. Sykes was in the game that time. She's not here this time. However, they let Ariel get loose, and we finally get that Shakira Austin game on the inside. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm on a heater. This is a heat check. Heat check lock. Washington Mystics plus 15.5.
Okay. And what's your dog?
For my dog. Do I just take Dallas? Yeah.
You can if you want to. I don't know if you like any other dogs on the card. Unless you want to go with Atlanta and go for a heat check.
Nah. I don't. I really don't think Atlanta wins the game. I just think they keep it close. Let's see. Can I ladder tie here as threes? I can.
You're going with 3?
I should really be conservative with my dogs because my dogs haven't been going well. But this Wings team is really bad defensively, and I would love to fade them some way, shape, or form. No, I'm just going to take the Wings money line. I'm almost close. I was really, really close to just go ahead and backing Ty Harris, but I actually want to sell myself on the Wings getting this win, and plus they got the last 2, so let's just make it a hat trick. Give the Wings money line plus 285.
All right, so for my lock on the show, give me McCown under 9.5 rebounds at minus 106. I think this rebound number is too high. They're still pricing her like she's playing 30 minutes a game. She's not. She's playing in the low 20s. So I think that this line is just fundamentally off, not to mention Connecticut being the best team in the league at preventing opponent rebounding. So I do like the under for her rebounds. For the lock, I think I actually am going to go with an Asia masterclass in this game. To go with Asia, I can get her points. Trying to see if I can find 30. Yeah, Asia 30 points is plus 250. She had 53 last time these teams played. Just give me Asia over 29.5.
All right. Over 29.5. What was the price on that?
250. 250.
Okay. Asia. All right. Anything else for the people, Scott, before we get out of here?
No, not really. I don't know about the NBA show, when we're going to bring that back because we have about a week off. So lock in for the WNBA.
Yeah, absolutely. Lock in for the. Wait, did they officially lose?
They're down
Oh,
29 in the
it's
third
not
quarter.
good.
So yeah,
It's not good.
yeah, it's not good.
All right, man. So yeah, just keep locking it. And plus, guess what, Scott? Guess what's next week?
Commissioner's Cup.
Commissioner Cup. Yep.
Yeah,
And this year is a new format where instead of throughout the first part of the season we get games, it's 2 straight weeks of Commissioner Cup hoops. So all
sweet.
these games for the next 2 weeks are gonna count. And at the end of that, we'll know who the 2 teams that are gonna play for the Commissioner's Cup final is, which for the new W listeners is an in-season tournament. Pretty much where the NBA got their idea from. They got it from the W. W's been doing it since 2021.
The only trophy the
And
Liberty won last year.
yeah, it is. And the winning team gets $500,000 to split. So that's your motive. $500,000 means a lot more in the W than it does in the NBA. So absolutely, it's going to be a fun next 2 weeks as we talk about that. And hopefully we convert a lot of our NBA listeners during that time. All right. Other than that, make sure appreciate everybody for supporting me, supporting Scott, and supporting this pod. Would love to see it happen some more and to keep growing this audience. We had a really, really good day. Hoping for many, 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 many more to come. Make sure you give us a like on the YouTube video. If you're on Twitter, hop over to YouTube real quick. Give us a like on the video. And for what else? Podcast listeners, give us a subscribe. Give us a like, 5-star rating and review if you would like. Please do that. Comment, all of that stuff. Other than that, I have nothing else to say. Nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. We're just going to end it like this. We are out of here.